Hi, I'm Rosenberg. Welcome to my latest YouTube video and podcast. Today I'm going to talk about the danger of the goal of happiness. I know that sounds actually ridiculous, but bear with me. Happiness, of course, is the goal for anyone to pursue, naturally. Why not? But what if your life is miserable? What if you are an SLD, someone who's self-love deficient, who suffers from self-love deficit disorder, which is the term I created for codependency? All you know is misery. All you know is loneliness and being dominated, controlled, afraid, gaslit, anxious. That your whole life is geared to get morsels of something positive, or what I would call breadcrumbs. And then, because of a delusional thought process, believe that they're really much bigger than that. What if, as an SLD, your moments of happiness were just really the absence of pain and disappointment? I got a couple more what ifs. Bear with me. What if you were gaslit, as many SLDs are, and you believe that you should be happy and grateful to the person who says he loves or she loves you, who actually is a pathological narcissist, who is behind this insidious campaign of gaslighting, misinformation, triangulation, poisoning of people's minds, and you somehow are convinced that this person has your back and loves you and can prove to you through this complicated gymnastics of distorted reality that you should be happy or you are happy, when in reality you're not. So my point is, for an SLD, for a codependent, happiness is not possible. And if a codependent believes it is possible, they're only going to get little bits and pieces of it. And because it's so rare and non-existent in their life, they're going to generalize. They are going to inflate it. They are going to make these crumbs, these breadcrumbs, into a piece of bread, a whole loaf of bread. So the pursuit of happiness for the codependent, the SLD, is the absence of pain in a relationship that survives and thrives on their subjugation, their being trapped, their being the answer to all the narcissist's needs and requirements. So happiness is, well, they listen to you every so often. They say something nice to you every so often. Or maybe happiness is that they don't scream at you, they don't berate you. Or maybe if you're gaslit, happiness is when they show you how good of a lover they are, how good of a friend they are, when in fact they've tricked you and distorted your reality to think that what they're doing that actually is kind of despicable and selfish is really benign, benevolent, and kind. So the term happiness is a very tricky concept because it's relative to the reality of the person. It's relative to the mental health of the person. It's relative to the amount of background pain and suffering. Let's just hypothetically, let's imagine that there's a normal person. And by the way, normal to me is someone who has problems and has the internal resources to solve them. And if they don't work, they seek external resources. And by the way, I have a whole video on that. So this hypothetical situation of hypothetical normal person, they are happy when something nice happens, something generous, something surprising, something kind comes their way. They're happy when they achieve a goal. There are so many reasons to be happy. You can be happy directly or vicariously, or in other words, you can be happy by just hearing about another person's happiness who you love and want to be happy. their happiness is best understood from a perspective of neutrality. People with normal, regular mental health problems, they have bad times and they have good times, but it's because of them having self-love abundance. They love themselves, and their life is not populated with narcissists who are trying to beat them down, hurt them, control them. When things are good, it feels good. It feels happy. It is happy. Happiness is good. But for a codependent, happiness is distorted. It's unrealistic. It's sometimes artificially created from something that is comprised of nothing but misery. So when my clients come up to me in the beginning of our self-love recovery treatment program, which I provide, and if you're interested, just go to our website at selfloverecovery.com or shoot us an email, help@selfloverecovery.com. And they say, I just want to be happy, Ross. I don't want to be lonely. I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be filled with core shame, which many of you know are the core problems of self-love deficit disorder. Trauma, core shame, loneliness, and addictive compulsion for a relationship to take the pain away. They just want happiness. And why not? Why should they not want happiness? In fact, it's a wonderful goal to have, but it's not realistic. Because before that they can even imagine being happy, before they can wrap their arms around being happy, what I'm trying to explain would be, and I air quote this again, normal happiness for someone who has balanced mental health. Before they can get there, they got to deconstruct everything in their life that makes them unhappy, that inhibits happiness, that makes happiness, their experience of happiness, dangerous for the narcissist. The idea that they're happy to a narcissist who thrives on power and control, gaslighting, that's a dangerous condition. Should the partner of a narcissist be happy in a way that is realistic, it means they have confidence, they have self-love, and they're able to enjoy the moment of happiness and joy in a world that supports it and reinforces it and affirms it. Well, that is going to make them stronger and more confident and want them to get more of it. The stakes are high for the narcissist to crush the pursuit of happiness or to redefine happiness to their gaslit or manipulated SLD partner or loved one as the absence of pain or the acquisition of little morsels of good deeds, special favors. So let me say this again. Happiness, it's a wonderful goal for all of us to have. Happiness is a wonderful experience. How could one person say happiness is bad? Please don't misinterpret me. But if you're an SLD, you have codependency, you have self-love deficiency, and you are just trying to keep your head above water. You are just trying to find a life in which people will love you for who you are, that you can love, respect, care, trust, and protect others in a way that makes them want to do the same and be happy. But because you're an SLD and because of the human magnet syndrome, you are tied together, chained, tethered to a pathological narcissist who depends on everything they're doing and not doing that is harmful, manipulative, and coercive to keep you in a relationship, and depends on your SLDD. I know this because that's how I figured it out. I've been married and divorced before. We fall in love with people that seem so perfect, who are our soulmates, who my dad once would say, become our cellmates. So really be careful with the goal of happiness, because you're going to set yourself up for failure and disappointment. To get to the stage of life that you would call happy, you got to find it inside yourself. So how does a person find happiness inside themselves? Well, happiness is just kind of a feeling. It's a general explanation for something that's positive and comforting and uplifting. You got to address this self-love deficit disorder, this core shame. I hate myself. I'm not lovable. No one will love me. This bone-aching existential disease of pathological loneliness. This unstoppable compulsion to be in a relationship so that the pain does not consume you. You got to find an end to that. And I provide both seminar and educational full-length videos and audio products on my website that will help you. I also provide my self-love recovery treatment program, or maybe someone understands my methods in the resolution of self-love deficit disorder. But you have to love yourself before you can even get to the foundational expectation of happiness, because it won't stick. It's not realistic. And should you get there, the fall from it is going to be excruciatingly disappointing. I want all of you to be happy. I want all of you to find joy in your life. But to do that, it requires a foundation of self-love abundance. And because most of you, I'm guessing, are self-love deficient or codependent, or you're interested in the subject, I cannot say any more emphatically. Don't put happiness as your goal. Put the absence of it as your goal. Find a path to solving the problems for which you unknowingly are participating. The dance. As I explained this in my Human Magnet Center book, and now my new book, The Codependency Revolution. The codependent dances with the narcissist. The codependent follower needs a leader in order to enjoy the dance. And as long as the codependent stays within their role, they can enjoy the dance by totally following while the other person leads them and does anything and everything they want. Well, as a metaphor and an analogy, you can stop dancing. You can learn to live by yourself. You can learn to heal the trauma, the shame, the loneliness, the SLDD addiction, and build an internal reserve of peace, tranquility, safety, so that you can start to imagine having joyful moments from which you can experience happiness. I hope this video or this podcast does not overwhelm you with what might seem contradictory. Be happy. I want you to be happy. But don't set yourself up for disappointment, so much so that the sparks that want to turn into full flames of happiness and joy die out. Well, thank you for your time. And as always, thank you for your support. And should you want more information about anything I do or the services I provide, just go to selfloverecovery.com. Take care and goodbye.